So you're losing money on your Etsy ads, or you're afraid to run Etsy ads because you're afraid to lose money. This is the video for you. You can't afford not to watch this video. I'm going to go over 3 types of listings you never ever want to run ads on in your shop. And stick around to the end of the video because I'll go over 3 solutions so you know what to do instead so you can be successful with your Etsy ads. Take a look at this listing here. This listing does break one of my rules, and look at what it did to me. In a matter of 1 week, it lost me $700. It was almost $800 in spend on my Etsy ads. And then in the course of a month, it lost me closer to $900. That listing only sold for me twice. So it was a complete bust. I actually wound up in the negative for profit 1 week because of this one ad. And had I listened to a video like this before running this ad, I could have saved myself such an expensive lesson. So let's jump into it right now. The very first one that we're going to go over is curiously small text, and this is the type that I'm showing you as an example. I'm Simply Shauna, and I have a shop that primarily sells t-shirts. I'm going to show some examples of these types of t-shirts that would have been the type of design that just lost me $700 spend in 1 week and $900 over the month. And again, in my shop as a whole, obviously that listing was not profitable. That listing only sold once or twice in that week. My shop as a whole for that week that I lost $700 and spent on that one ad, I actually was not profitable that week, and one of the primary reasons was that ad. So when I say listings with curiously small text, we're talking about the kind of listing that is going to create a curiosity gap in your potential shopper's mind. That potential shopper is scrolling through search results. They see something that is interesting. They can't quite read the whole phrase. It's got curiously small text. And so they click into that listing so they can read the whole thing. But they might not have been a serious shopper. They might have just wanted to close that curiosity gap that you started. Let me show you some examples. Here we have one that says, I need a huge cocktail. That could get someone clicking in. It looks a little inappropriate. And then you click in and you realize, oh, that's how they finished the word. In large lettering here, we've got, I clogged your toilet. I'm so sorry is the curiously small text. This can create a crazy click craze into that listing without people actually purchasing. Here we've got, I speak 4 languages: English, profanity, sarcasm, and some real. I'll let you read that to yourself. And we see here that this one actually only has a conversion rate of 0.81%. And we see that the views are over 16,000 with only 4 sales. So this very likely is blowing this person's ads budget up in their shop. Here again, we have a really low conversion rate, a lot of views on this, and you have to click in. You see the word moist, but we don't know what this says unless we click in. And if your curiosity gap is open right now in your mind and you'd like to close it, I'll try to go ahead and zoom in on this so you can read it and close that curiosity gap for yourself, because at least one person you know hates that word. Here's another example of that same design, I speak 4 languages, and this one has over 91,000 views. The conversion rate is 0.22%. This is most likely, if they're still running ads on this, oh, they are, because I took a screenshot of an ad. This is blowing up their ads budget. Another example, I love it when my wife lets me buy more guns. This one just so happens to be doing great. Look at that awesome conversion rate of 5,007%. That's insane. So there's always going to be examples that go against the rule, but this is the type of design that can blow up your budget. It has done it to me on numerous occasions. Here's a different kind here. It's not that we're not really using purposely small text to create curiosity. It's just that you're probably curious about what that dad tour entails. What are the different phrases on the back of that shirt? That can create a curiosity gap as well and have people clicking into your listing. Another example, this one's got over 143,000 views. It's got a low conversion rate. And we could see praise the Lord, but they've got to really click in to see what the other phrases are on this shirt. If you have items like this that are not converting, you might think about turning the ad off, because it could be from this phenomenon of this curiosity gap being opened and someone wanting to know what it says. Another example for you, again with these small phrases with the back to school tour, really low conversion rate, over 6,000 views. I have a couple more examples of this for you. But if you have found that you think that this might be an issue you've encountered with some of your ads, I want you to go down and comment, small phrase created a clicking ads craze. Another example for you here is, I love it when my husband lets me, and then they said the word custom. So now the person that clicked in is probably curious about this, what this was, but now it won't even resonate with them because they have to like do the thinking. They have to figure out what that thing would be. And I know it seems like, oh, that'd be a great idea, but people don't want to do the thinking. They'd rather you do the thinking for them. This has got over 25,000 views and no sales. So that's a bummer. This is definitely blowing up their ads budget if they're running ads on this, which they probably are because it has that many views. I would think they are running ads. This type of listing has lost me money on a number of occasions, whether it be that I purposely put small text to create something funny or curiosity like that, or it was just that it was part of a phrase where there was smaller text included in the phrase. Another one that comes to mind is like you'll see a bow or an object, and then there's small writing that borders that object. That is going to be a type of listing that very possibly could lose you money because someone might find themselves clicking in because they're curious about what that text says. It's a very trendy design layout, but it could lose you money. So should you be even making designs like that? Maybe you're thinking, well, geez, I'm just not going to make designs like that. No, I think they're great. I make designs like this. Yeah, I think they're super duper. Like it creates curiosity. You want to get people to click into your listings, but think twice before running ads on them. If you are monitoring your ads and you're going in there every day, then run ads on them because you'll catch it before it gets out of hand. I've been a little bit busy this year. I just haven't had the time to go in and babysit my ads. And so things can get very quickly out of control in my shop since I do have a very large ad budget. So again, if you have run into this issue, go down and comment, small phrase created a clicking ads craze. The second type of listing you never want to run ads on are the listings that you're creating when you're new at this. No matter how good you feel like your design was, when you're new at this, you're new. And it takes time to figure out how to create things that people want to buy. So if you are running ads out the gate right when you get started, those listings are likely not to do well. Now, they could be powerful for other reasons. You get a lot of data when you are running ads. And for that reason, you might want to do it just for the fact that you get a lot of data. You will start to see what types of phrases you're popping up in front of people for, exactly which things start getting clicked on or start getting views. So for the data part of it, you might choose to do it anyways. But as far as listings that are most likely not going to be great at converting into sales for you, your first 100 designs that you're putting out there, they're just not going to be your best work. I know that seems like a lot, 100 designs. Honestly, I probably wasn't good at this until I was closer to like 700 or 800 designs. But you know what? I might just be a slower learner than you. So maybe you'll get it down pat a lot faster than I did. But it did take me a lot of designs to start getting good at this. I actually pulled a couple of my very first listings and I'm going to share them with you right now. Here's one that says, thankful for books. So the extent of the market research that went behind this, number one, that mock-up was not a trending mock-up. I just was able to pick it up. It's actually not bad. I think I picked it up for like 99 cents or something, but it was definitely not one of the trending mock-ups. I would now have much more research behind the mock-ups that I'm choosing to use. And then the design. The thankful part I pulled out of GoDaddy Studios. I didn't have to do anything with that. It was coming up to March, reading month, and I wanted to make reading types of things. I knew that leopard print was in at the time, and it still is, as a matter of fact. So I just chose a random font and put books and leopard. Really, the only research part of this was taking a stab at that leopard print. The layout didn't come from any research. The fonts didn't come from any research. The word thankful was just because it was available in GoDaddy Studios, the design app I was using at the time. This never did anything for me. I wouldn't, looking back, I wouldn't expect it to. Let's take a look at this one here. Some stories stay with us forever. This I downloaded directly out of GoDaddy Studios. I would never do something like that now. I would definitely have more thought into the design that I'm putting together. If it's worth listing, it's probably not already created in Creative Fabrica or in GoDaddy Studios or anywhere else for that matter. You're going to want to put your own twist on it and pull in other elements that you see are trending. I have an entire video series that shows how to add value to the market, and I will argue that it is the most important skill you can learn. Yes, that's right. More important than SEO, your title and your tags, which is where most people kind of get caught in wanting to focus. It is your design. It's like 99.9% your design. I will leave that entire playlist linked down below. You do very well to watch that content and other content like it so that you're knowing how to make designs people actually want to buy. This design is not one of those designs. Here's another one, and no, don't get me wrong. I feel that this was much better than my other designs. I was working in the teacher niche. I started to understand that colorful things do really well in the teacher niche. So I found a really colorful collection in GoDaddy Studios, and I put it together in a circle because I saw another listing that had a design in a circle shape. It was not this layout. I kind of went off in my own directions with the layout as far as what I did next with it. Circle designs can be great, but not the way I did it. So here I paired this cursive font that bleeds into the circular design. The part of the words are getting lost. Math teachers have problems. Super funny phrase. That part was well researched. That was trending on shirts. That phrase was doing really well. So the good choices I made here were the fact that I understood that colorful shirts were doing really well for teachers, 100%. So that's great. And number two, I picked a phrase that was trending, definitely worth doing a batch or two of that phrase, meaning doing that phrase up in 10 to 15 different styles, different looks that are trending. And hey, by the way, if you're struggling with adding value to the market and you're like hearing me say trend and you're like, but Shauna, what are the trends? This is so hard. It's really not too hard, but it does take time to develop the skill of spotting trends early. I do have a membership. We would love to have you. I will leave it linked down below, and that is the focus of my membership. I release a trend report every single month with lots of ideas. I give homework assignments at the end of the trend report to help you take action. I do guided activities based off of trends so that when you're done with the activity, I've walked you through all the research and then you implement it and you've got 8 to 10 designs after the activity. I'm adding these things every single month. So there's always new activities and new trend reports among many other things. I'm just mentioning 2 of the features. If you want to give it a try, we'd love to have you. There's no risk involved. If you get in there and you're like, wait, this isn't for me. This isn't what I thought it would be. Just message me within the week and let me know, hey, Shauna, I'm so sorry. This isn't quite what I was expecting. And I will quickly and happily, no questions asked, give you a refund for the month. And you can always rejoin at some point down the future if you feel like you're ready for it in the future. So there's no risk involved. And you have everything to gain by learning how to make designs that people want to buy. And that means being able to spot the trends or have someone like myself spot them for you as they're coming up and then implement those trends into niches that they're not implemented in just yet, which is easy to do when you are spotting a trend early. Okay, we're not done. Don't go anywhere. Just have a seat. Keep listening because we've got the 3rd type of listing that you never want to run ads on. If you find yourself curious about what this is and you feel like you're benefiting from the mistakes that I've made and my sharing them with you, if you would take a minute to boop the like button, that would do a lot for this video and for all my efforts here. And it would also help other people like yourself find this video. And if you don't want to miss future content like this, take a second to subscribe and become a friend here. We'd love to have you around more often. So far, we know that a small phrase can create a clicking ads craze. And we also know that we should wait instead of running ads out the gate. The 3rd type of listing you never want to run ads to is the type of listing where you have no other listings like it in your shop. In just a minute, we'll jump into what to do instead. so that you are running ads successfully. But what I mean in this point here is that if you have one nurse shirt or a nurse mug or a nurse tote or a nurse PNG, whatever it is, if you have only one nurse thing in your shop, then don't run ads to that. If you just have one teacher thing, then don't run ads to that. If you only have one golf dad shirt in your shop, maybe don't run ads to that. And there's a very specific reason for this. Let me show you an example of someone who's doing this properly. And when we go to the bottom of this listing, we see more from this shop. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items that Etsy is going to pull from your shop that are some of the most similar items to the one that customer clicked into. So we've got this really funny one, drunkest bunch of a-holes, this side of the campground. We've got camp mode, totally different style of design. We've got another camp one with a front and back design. We've got kind of a more beachy looking one here. Right under that, we've got you may also like. That customer is going to see the exact phrase that they popped into your listing originally for and kind of in other different looks. And so they're going to have this chance to click out of your shop if they see something that they like better. If they clicked into a camp shirt, they're not here to go into more from this shop to see nurse, teacher, and birthday stuff. They're here to click on camp stuff. So once they get down here, they're no longer looking at your listing and they're very likely to click on one of these. Now you just got charged for them clicking into your ad and now they're gone. But you did not take full use of the opportunity to catch them right here. So you should have a handful, at least a handful of things in your shop that Etsy can fill this out with. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces here. You'll want to have at least 5 things that Etsy is able to identify as similar to the one that you are showing that customer. Preferably this exact phrase done up with totally different looks would be great, but just other things in the niche also helps. Here's an example of someone who did not do this. So we've got coping skills alphabet. It's really a school counselor or teacher type of shirt. And then when we look down at more from this shop, we really don't see anything pulling up that would be something we're interested in. We're seeing completely different niches here. We've got Valeris City of Starlight shirt, which I'm not familiar with that niche. We've got it looks like a kind of a sarcastic shirt. We've got a Christian shirt. So none of these really work, but right down here, you also may like, and we see some really nice items. We see other coping skills shirts specifically. We see school counselor shirts with this little cute doodly design. We see phrases like all right, stop, regulate, and listen. Other phrases that teachers, school counselors, school psychologists, and social workers, the types of people that are going to click into this listing, are going to be interested in. And we might very likely lose them because now they've got other options. If you are guilty of running ads on one and done types of designs where you've just put one thing up with that phrase or even in that niche, then go down and comment, not enough, so my ads are looking rough. So what can you do instead to make sure that your ads are profitable and that you're not frustrated? One strategy when you're new is just to wait until you've already sold something. Only run ads on things you have previously sold. This way, there's proof in the market that people are liking your item, and then you're adding a little gasoline to that fire. Okay, I know this was purchased. I know that at least one person liked it, or maybe a couple people have liked it and purchased it. So it's likely if I got it in front of more eyeballs that maybe other people would like it. Also, already in the algorithm, it's being loved a little bit, and so Etsy might even be a little more inclined to push that ad out for you. The second thing you can do is just to wait a while before you start running ads. Kind of have it in your mind like, okay, I'm just going to kind of plug along and I'm going to get maybe 1,000 designs into my shop or 1,000 listings into my shop before I start running ads on my new items. And I wouldn't run it on the whole shop because I wouldn't want to be running it on all of those designs that I was coming up with in the very beginning when I probably wasn't very good at this whole thing. Again, I probably didn't start running ads in my shop until I was at maybe 20 or 30,000 sales probably. So it might have even, yeah, it was probably 20 or 30,000. That's probably around where it was. And then I did really well with them. It was amazing. It was really, really a helpful tool in scaling my shop further after that. But I'd be careful prior to that and running your shop. I'd say around 1,000 sales. Probably you are pumping out things now with a good insight on what is working in your shop and what you've stumbled upon in terms of design aesthetics and in terms of the niches that are working for you, and place ads on those new items that you're putting out in your shop at that time. And thirdly, wait until you have built out that niche before you start running ads on it. So make sure you have at least 5 or 10, because we know they give you 5 slots down there, 5 more from the shop. But maybe you have 15, 20, 30 designs in your shop in that niche or even with that specific phrase before you run ads on it, so that customers have some nice other options in your shop so you have a second chance to catch them. Happens to me all the time where I'll have ads data and I'll see that my ad is profitable, but I don't have any sales on that ad just yet. They actually clicked into the ad, and then you could see in your ads data which listing they actually purchased from. And they've purchased from a different ad of mine. So it happens all of the time, but because I had other options for them, I was able to catch them before a different shop did. I actually have a system where I batch designs that really helps me nail this part to make sure right away I have enough options. I'll loop back to that in just a second. If you've enjoyed this video and you're thinking about joining the membership, or you're already in the membership, there is a resource in our classroom resources. I'm very proud of it. It's about ads. I do have it as a separate sale, so you could pick it up by itself, and I'll leave a link to that down below also, but it's included in the membership. So if you're thinking about doing the membership, then don't purchase the ads resource all by itself. Just join the membership and go right to the classroom resources and go into that ads resource. It is very in-depth. And if you enjoyed this video and the information here, that video has way more information and a lot more of my insights in it. I really spent a long time putting it together, so I hope you love it. All right, let me show you how I batch my designs. It's a really fast, simple method to make sure I get 10 to 15 designs out with a particular phrase right that same day, like right away. And we'll cover that in this video here, but of course, not until after that tip from Tucker. Tucker, take it away.